Hey there, it's Lisa from Kitchen Witch Boutique. It's Saturday, April 16th, 2022, and happy full moon. It's the pink moon this evening. We've technically gone full already, about 3:30 this afternoon, and I'm sure everybody's feeling the effects. This is a very special moon falling on Passover. Tomorrow it's Easter Sunday. It's a full moon in Libra. It's starting in Libra and it's ending in Scorpio. So of course, you know, that like my guys are blowing up my head and they're like, talk about this, talk about that. So being as I'm not huge into religion, I had to look up the meaning of Passover because I was like, you know, as soon as I did that, a little moth just flew right by it. But the meaning of Passover is when God told Moses to take the Israelites out of Israel, and of course the Pharaoh was like, no, I'm not letting these guys go. I mean, it's free labor. He sent Egypt 10 plagues. So God had them take lamb's blood and put a mark on their door so the angel of death would pass over them. Now, of course, you know, me absolutely adoring Papa Getty, who is not an angel, he's a spirit, a deity, was like, well, that's really interesting because Libra into Scorpio. Scorpio is the death card in tarot. It's the card of transformation, Papa Getty, Mama Bridget, the Getty Nation, etc. So what I got out of this, and I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, it's been a really rough month. Actually, it's been more of a rough year. I mean, considering that, you know, the COVID thing is somewhat lifting, and then we just got hit with news again that, you know, it's coming back, it's resurfacing. But what Papa Getty wanted me to tell people is that there's an end to the struggle. You know, I can't talk to people about the planets or like the alignment and all this other shit, but this is a very strong time for transformation. Like a lot of people are leaving jobs, you know, leaving relationships, like reevaluating relationships. That's what this moon is about. Libra is the sign for harmonious relationships. I think, and again, I'm not an astrologer, I believe Libra falls in the 7th house. I'm not exactly sure about all that stuff, etc. But Libra is a time to seek balance. So this is a great time to do your shadow work. You know, it's a lot of us, you know, who are light workers are really getting bombarded with energies. Like there are people talking about protections, you know, stuff that's been very difficult. A lot of us are not sleeping. I never sleep, so I'm just used to it. But what I'm hearing from Spirit is that this is a time to look at the way you're relating to people and also look at the way people are relating to you. Like, you know, I'll give you a case in point. You know, I went out with a friend yesterday for her birthday. We had a beautiful time. And, you know, I started talking to somebody and, you know, we started having a conversation about all kinds of stuff, whatever. And it turned out that this person was completely toxic, you know, and people just, they do this all the time. Like everybody's got an opinion and they all suck, right? So this is a time to really sit down quietly with yourself. You know, for me, I don't smoke cigarettes, but tobacco usually does help me channel and get into that groove. Papa Getty said to take obsidian, you know, shungite, ebony, I'm hearing black jade. There's also an African jasper. And, you know, people need to ground right now because there's so many energies that are running around and people are just like, they're going batshit. I mean, that's like the best way to put it. So as far as changes, I was going to do like a group reading for tarot. But what I'm seeing is that people are coming into their own. I'm hearing the star families are getting in touch, the star people. You know, I've spoken about the Arcturians. You know, I do some intergalactic channeling at times, and a lot of the energies that are coming through for me are water. So it's like the Atlanteans, the Lemurians, that kind of stuff. And of course, you know, I'm leaving for Punta Cana in about 5 days. So I most assuredly will be in the ocean. But one of the most important messages that I have for people today is that karma, okay? Like Libra is representative of karma. Like in the tarot, Libra is the Justice card. I don't know all the cards, etc., what they all mean, but karmic lessons are very strong right now. So I want to reassure people that don't freak out, okay? Because I know that, you know, tomorrow is Easter. And I've spoken about that, you know, I don't have a family, you know, my parents have passed on, etc. People are really struggling with this stuff. They're struggling with, you know, being accepted. There's all kinds of just, you know, hate groups that they're springing up every other day. It's ridiculous. But Libra is this sign, I cannot say this word, I think it's equanimity, if I'm saying that correctly. It's the sign of balance. My best friend is a Libra. Like it's the sign of like seeing both sides of the coin. So Spirit is saying, have some compassion for what others are going through. Even if you yourself don't understand it, even if you're like in your head, like that's ridiculous, like I don't get it, whatever, it doesn't make it not valid. Okay, like it doesn't make it that they don't have something to say and their reasons behind it are not clear and conscious. Like there's a lot of people that are delving deep into their subconscious. There's, as I said, I have a friend, Elizabeth, who does a lot of astronomy and astrology. She understands this stuff a lot more than I do. Hey, Elizabeth. She says that people in like, you know, their late 40s, early 50s, like me, I'm going to be 53 in about, I don't even know, like 10 days, something like that. People are really struggling with Chiron. Chiron is, just as I said that, my phone popped up with Spotify. So I'm like, oh, hello, interstellar transmissions. But Chiron, as I understand it, is somewhat of a meteorite. People would need to check on that, etc. But people are struggling with finding out who they are. Like they're really starting to dig below the surface. And I'm here to tell you, like, don't be afraid of what you find there, because people have lived their whole lives, you know, for years upon years, like creating this false persona, this false reality, you know, and a lot of us who, you know, are light workers or caregivers or whatever, have taken care of everybody else but ourselves, you know, and we have a right to be heard. We have a right to be supported. We have a right to be loved just as we are. Just keep in mind that, you know, and this is something that I struggle with myself, that there's two sides to the story. You know, you could say, you know, I'm hurting because of this, and I feel like you don't hear me because of this. Be prepared that you also have responsibility. Like if you're dealing with situations where, you know, people are not getting along, or you're feeling, you know, degraded or used or dejected and all of this stuff, keep in mind that the other person more than likely is going through the same exact thing, but they, for whatever reason, like they're not saying it, or they don't, you know, they're trying to kind of get around it. And a lot of people will, like, they don't like conflict, so they'll skirt around it. Just, if you put the vibration of, I love you, I send love and blessings and happiness to you, I send peace to you, you know, wishes of healing, you know, of blessing your ancestors. Because again, you know, Libra and Scorpio are about the ancestors. Like I have Scorpio in my 4th house, house of home and family. Gee, no wonder like the dead are all like, you know, boom, boom, because like that's my people. But at the same time, other people are struggling also. You know, there are people that, this is one of my biggest challenges right now. Like I have people say the most insane stuff to me, stuff that I personally go, Jesus Christ, like my God, like why would you say that? But it doesn't necessarily make it wrong. You know, you can disagree with them and just say like, okay, I understand, like that's where you're coming from, etc. But try not to demonize them, because like it's one of the hardest things to do, is that not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to believe what you believe. And it's okay. Seek the higher vibration. Like seek those who are in vibration with you, who are in communion with you. Like, you know, light a white candle to spirit and just ask to be shown the way, you know, and that, you know, things will become clearer. Like, this has been a very difficult transit for people. You know, it's been a struggle for a lot of us, you know, and people, like, if you're feeling, you know, exhausted, or you're feeling spacey, or you're feeling like you just cannot get it together, okay, you're not crazy. Like, you're not crazy, you're not lazy, you're not too old, you're not brain damaged or whatever, you know, or whatever. Like, you're struggling with the energies that are around the planet right now. We're all becoming incredibly sensitive. And like Getty always uses, you know, he always uses the term an onion. He's like, you know, you keep peeling that onion, eventually you're going to get to the core. So this moon, this full moon, is for working on core issues. You know, don't be afraid to really look into that shadow of, why do I do this? Why do I sabotage things? Why do I, you know, why am I so abrasive? Like, why do I always take things wrong? Like, why? Because honestly, most people, you know, most people are not, like I've said this before, like, they're not meaning to be assholes. Like, they're not meaning to be selfish pricks. They just don't know any better. Like, they don't know any better. And, you know, like I said in my last podcast, like, you can yell and scream and tell them a million times. It doesn't matter. Like, it, you know, when it's the whole lead the horse to water thing. Like, when they're ready to hear it, they will hear it. And in the meantime, like, you will not die. You will not, you know, you will not come to serious harm if you say something to someone and then you just back off and say, this is my truth, this is my honesty, and then let it go. Because the more you badger, the more you try to, you know, force your way, or like, you know, force, like, the less likely that's going to happen. I mean, I just had a situation where a friend of mine and I were talking, and, you know, I'd been canceling on her lately, and she like reminded me of that. And, you know, it's like, one little thing that she could have said, but she just kind of kept going with it. And like, I'm in my head like, yeah, I don't want to see you now, because like, nobody likes to be shamed or blamed or like, you know, put on the spot, etc. But at the same time, like, I realized, you know, I had to take responsibility for the fact of, you know, like, she was hurt and upset that, you know, for whatever reason, like, canceled plans, etc. Just try to like put your best foot forward for this, you know, try to be kind. Like, just, it's the hardest thing I know to control your anger and anxiety. Like, anxiety is behind a lot of it. Shame is behind a lot of it. Guilt. You know, a lot of us grew up, you know, with parents that just didn't know how to communicate effectively. Like, they didn't know how to, you know, get their needs met. Like, a lot of people have like dependent personalities where they feel like, well, I have to be with this person because like I'll die if not. Love addiction stuff. I was guilty of that for many, many years. I mean, it goes along with being an alcoholic or a recovering alcoholic. So, you know, Spirit's message for this evening of April 16th, 2022 is, let yourself breathe. Let go of the things that trouble you the most. Because in letting go, you will receive divine guidance. You will receive the Holy Spirit. If you say, please just guide me and help me be closer to what I need to know, as Getty says, like, clarity and energy. Clarity and energy. One of the things Papa Getty told us, and this was back around Samhain, is he said to take a lime, douse it in Florida water, like put it in a bowl, pour Florida water over, set it on fire, and then when it's done burning out, take the lime, rub it all over your body. Lime is fabulous for purification processes, because that's what we're going through right now, is purification of spirit. And that's what, you know, like, that's what came to mind with Passover, you know, with the lamb's blood on the door, etc., is that Moses leading his people out of Egypt was purifying them, because they were under, you know, control. They were being punished, you know, they were being used as workhorses, and they were not being allowed to live their truth. So the message for this evening, live your truth, be who you are. The rest will come into place. So amen. Blessed, happy full moon, happy pink moon. Blessed be, Ayubobo, and everybody have a beautiful and lovely Easter. Bye-bye.